After more than 4 decades in service, the Phalanx Close-in Weapon System, or CIWS, has become a well-known defensive feature on U.S. Navy and other Allied warships, and has an unusual pop culture following. Details about the specialized tungsten cord ammunition it fires, or how much those rounds cost, are less common knowledge. A 2-second burst from a Phalanx costs the Navy nearly $7,000, according to budget figures in the service's 2025 fiscal year request. The Navy, along with the rest of the Department of Defense, rolled out its proposed budget for the 2025 fiscal year on Monday. In it, the service is asking for just over $17 million to purchase 372,000 Mk244 Mod 020mm cartridges. This breaks down to a per-round cost of $45.84. The Mk244, also known as the Enhanced Lethality Cartridge, ELC, is currently the primary operational round used in Phalanx CIWSs on American warships. Phalanx is a self-contained, turreted close-in defense system armed with a 6-barrel M61 Vulcan cannon. The systems have their own search and track radars and electro-optical and infrared cameras for target acquisition and engagement, and can be used in manually operated or autonomous modes. The Phalanx's M61 can be set to fire at one of 2 rates, 4,500 or 3,000 rounds per minute, for use against aerial targets such as cruise missiles and aircraft or asymmetric threats, which includes littoral warfare threats, like small boats, respectively, according to the Navy. At the higher rate of fire, a Phalanx spits out 150 20mm rounds in a typical 2-second burst. The system's magazine can hold up to 1,550 rounds, which equates to 20 seconds of total firing time at 4,500 rounds per minute. At 3,000 rounds per minute, the 2-second burst rate is 100 rounds and the total firing time is 31 seconds. Regardless of how fast those rounds are expended, fully loading a Phalanx's magazine with Mk244s costs just over $71,000. The Mk244, produced by General Dynamics Ordnance and Tactical Systems, GDOTS, is a kinetic round, meaning that it is designed to destroy targets by physically smashing into them. The round contains a subcaliber tungsten projectile inside a discarding plastic sabot. After firing, the sabot breaks away and the tungsten projectile continues onward. The discarding sabot design increases the velocity of the projectile, helping it close the distance to the target faster and increase the force of impact. The enhanced lethality in ELC refers primarily to the projectile being 48% heavier than the one in the preceding Mk149 round for the Phalanx CIWS, which produces higher kinetic energy on target, according to GDOTS. The company also says the Mk244 is more accurate, with its shot dispersion being 40% lower than the Mk149 cartridge. The Navy's Phalanx systems popped into the mainstream news cycle back in January, when it emerged that the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer USS Gravely had reportedly used one to shoot down an incoming Houthi anti-ship cruise missile while sailing in the Red Sea. This raised concerns about the ability of the Iranian-backed militants to get a weapon so close to a U.S. warship. Phalanx is generally seen as a last-ditch line of defense as the war zone highlighted at the time. For months now, Iranian-backed Houthi militants have been launching anti-ship ballistic and cruise missiles, as well as drones, at commercial ships and foreign naval vessels in the region. U.S. and other international forces have shot down dozens of Houthi missiles and drones and have also launched strikes on the group's assets inside Yemen. Just in the past 2 months, the Yemeni militants have fully demonstrated their willingness and ability to carry out fatal attacks on commercial ships and even sink them. The cost of a full load of Mk244 rounds for a Phalanx CIWS is exponentially less expensive than the multi-million-dollar missiles U.S. Navy warships have been using to engage Houthi threats at longer ranges. All of this also pales in comparison to the potential cost in lives, as well as damage to multi-billion-dollar ships, from not intercepting these threats.